One issue that has proved difficult for the government to resolve is insecurity. This was one of the problems the past administration of President Buhari promised to tackle during his time in office. With the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu up and running, Nigerians will be hoping he will deal with this persistent issue once and for all. However, last weekend, a fresh wave of attacks occurred where assailants killed at least 8 persons, including an 8-month-old infant, in Farin Lamba, a community in Wang district of Jos, South Local Government area of Plateau State. President Bola Tinubu described as unfortunate the recent violence in Plateau and Benue State, north-central Nigeria. He directed security agencies to fish out the masterminds of the killings, insisting that they be made to face the full wrath of the law. The development comes 2 days after another attack in Sabongeri, a community in Mangu local government of the state, left several persons dead and houses burned. For how long will the country continue to witness attacks of such nature that has persisted for years without a resolution? Joining us on the morning show today to discuss the latest attack in Plateau is Simon Mwadkwon, Minority Leader of the Senate. Good morning, distinguished Senator. Good to have you join us on the morning show today.
Good. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, I know how important this development is to you as a senator from Plateau State, as a former local government chairman in Plateau State yourself. I know that these are issues that you have dealt with while you were a local government chairman in Plateau State. But here we are, we're still dealing with issues of killings, of reprisal attacks, of farmer herders clashes. So much so that a report, I'm sure that you must have heard about it or seen it, last Thursday by the Gideon and Fumi Para Malam Peace Foundation, which says that about 346 persons have been killed in 8 local government areas in Plateau State. It's a human disaster without a doubt. What do you make of what is happening? And why are we still at this bloodletting level?
Well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
What I see is happening in Plateau is disheartening. It's unacceptable. It is not fair. It's inhuman. These are dastardly acts that are perpetrated on innocent citizens of Plateau. And I read that report. It was even carried in the leadership newspaper of yesterday. And the report is even not accurate because there are more than that number of persons that have been killed in Plateau within the past 1 month. And I think there's need for the security agencies to rise to the occasion. I think there's need of the political will of the government to bring this to an end. I think there should be synergy between the citizens of Plateau to see how they can give intels. I think that the security agencies have not done their job adequately. Like you rightly pointed out, I've been a local government chairman, and in the course of my duties as a local government chairman, I discovered something. There are 3 categories of persons that call themselves security personnel within all the security agencies. The first category is the true security agent that is patriotic to Nigeria and is ready to bring the killings to an end. The second category is that has come to play loyalty to his ethnic and also religious background. The third one is that has come, is ready to even assist the killers if he is induced with money. And my conclusion is that the first category, who is the true Nigerian citizen, a patriotic citizen, the number of such security personnel are less compared to those that have come to play the ethnic and religious, and also those that have come to see how they will just make money. And therefore, I strongly believe that the security agencies should purge themselves of bad elements within themselves so that we can have a headway to see how we can stem these killings in Plateau and in other parts of the country.
Thank you very much for setting the tone of the conversation this morning. Now, Northern leaders have rejected a call by former governor of Zamfara State, Malam Yerima Sani, asking the president to negotiate with terrorists and bandits in the country and grant them an amnesty as it was done for the Niger Delta militants by the late Umaru Yar'Adua's administration. Now, in their views, they argue that such negotiations will continue to fail because the bandits don't have a central command of leadership and they've never kept the agreement reached with some of them in the past by some of the states and communities in the north. Now, as the minority leader of the Senate, what strategy, do you agree with this strategy at first? That's my question. And if you don't, what do you think we need to do? What do you believe is necessary to address the rising insecurity, for one, in Plateau State and Nigeria as a whole? And how can the current administration, alongside, the new service chiefs and the security agencies, effectively tackle this persistent issue? Of course, looking at the backdrop of this call for a dialogue with these bandits and terrorists.
Thank you. I don't believe that we should negotiate with the bandits for any reason, because we've not come clearly to identify why these people are killing innocent Nigerians. But the Niger Delta issue is clear. The wealth of this country is being taken from the Niger Delta. The people have been deprived of their farmlands. They have been deprived of their vocation, which is fishery. There is oil spillage everywhere. They are living in very bad conditions. And every sane human being should know that such people, of course, will fight back. But for the bandits killing people in all the states in Nigeria, what is their reason? Some of them, like Shekau, has come out clearly to say he's doing a religious jihad. It's a jihad. That is what he said. And do we go to negotiate with somebody with a philosophy that has to do with killing of persons? You see, the problem we have in this country is that, of course, people are entitled to their opinion. It is his right to make such a speech. But I think if you make that kind of comment, the security agencies should investigate you properly. That's just the truth. Why would you go and begin to negotiate with bandits? Now, if you negotiate with them, what do you do to the families of people that have been killed? What do you do with them? How do you compensate them? How do you bring back their loved ones to life? What will you do to compensate them for the death of their relations? So I don't believe that government should negotiate with these bandits. I am not happy because there was this time that banditry was so widespread almost everywhere in the country, and there was a sheikh who had access to this bandit. And the military and the security agents claim they don't know the whereabouts of these bandits. So the political will is not there, and somebody is not doing his job properly. And I think that people should begin to do their job properly, because you cannot claim you don't know the whereabouts of these bandits, you don't know where to locate them. And there are videos, being shown all over the country of a sheikh that have access to these bandits. And the security have not even interrogated such a person. How do you have contacts with these people? How do you meet them? What do you use? So it means that the security apparatus of the country is not in the hands of the security agencies completely. I don't think government should negotiate with these people. I am happy with President Tinubu because for the first time, the federal government have come out clearly to make a statement on the killings in Plateau. And I listened to President Tinubu, who said that the cycle of violence in Plateau must come to a stop. And I believe he has given a command, and that is why last week, 5 of the bandits were neutralized in Mangu local government. If the security agencies have been following this and neutralizing these people, I want to strongly believe that these things should have come to an end. So negotiating with them. I don't believe that. I believe that the political will should be there. The security agencies should be equipped. The security agencies should purge themselves of bad elements within them and make sure that patriotism should lead this fight against insurgency and banditry in our country. I want to strongly believe that if that is clearly done with a clear mandate, with a clear target, that this thing will come to an end.
All right, Senator, I would like for you to break down the whole situation, for Nigerians. What is really going on? Is it a strictly farmers-herders clash, or are there other factors feeding these incessant attacks, in May, in June, and of course, just recently, as a few days ago? Who is behind it? What is fueling the killings? I know that when you were local government chairman, even when you represented your constituency in the House of Reps, you must have access to information to an extent. So can you break it down? If it is strictly farmers-herders clash, and if there are reprisal attacks, because people are also saying that natives are also killing the herders, which necessitated their returning, for reprisal attacks, to carry out their own thing. And secondly, if you don't mind, will you think that what is happening now, particularly since June, is a test of strength to the new governor, Mr. Caleb Mwadkwon, who's just new in the saddle, but like your good self, is also in the opposition, is a PDP member? How much of synergy do you think that he will be able to get from the ruling APC in making sure that this comes to an end as the President Tinubu desires?
Yeah, we are now a government. We are citizens of Nigeria. Our concentration is how will Nigeria move forward? How will Nigeria develop? What will be the level of progress after 4 years? I don't see us as APC and PDP any longer, because whatever services that will be rendered to anyone in Nigeria today is coming from the government of Nigeria, whether you are APC or you are PDP. So I want to see both President Tinubu and Governor Mwadkwon as leaders that have been saddled with the constitutional authority to take care of the state and also the country. Party differences will not exist any longer. Of course, it will be there, but that will be secondary. Secondly, I don't see these killings as farmer-herder clash. For goodness sake, you don't rear cattle at night. And some of these attacks take place in the night. The farmer-herder clash that we know used to be just a minor fracas in the daytime, when the farmer would be on the farm tilling his farmland, and the herder would be there rearing his cattle. And sometimes, of course, you cannot avoid such things. The cattle may, run into a farmland and begin to eat or destroy the crops. Of course, conflict will arise, and they have a very amicable way of settling this. But what we are seeing now is far from this issue of farmer-herder clash. You don't rear cattle at night. It is the cattle that are mobile. The farmland is stationary. And therefore, if there's any sort of destruction, it's going to be the herder that must have destroyed the farmland. And if such happen, I know, like I did say, that there are better ways of settling this peacefully between the two parties. But what we see now is an attempt to go into what we call land grabbing. Because in Plateau, let me just tell you, more than 60 communities have been ejected from their farmlands, and stranger communities are settled there. And the government is aware of this. And it's something that can be investigated by any person. If you go to such communities, you will see that the original settlers of those communities are no longer there. People that are there are people we do not know, and government has done little or nothing about it. What has come to this level is that we have allowed the non-state actors to have instruments of coercion more than the state actors. And because they have access to instruments of coercion, they use this at their own will, at their own volition, to render terror on the innocent citizens of Plateau and other parts of this country. And for us to solve this problem, of course, we have to really, arm the state actors with more sophisticated, more technical, more trained personnel to see how they can handle this thing. But by the time we begin to say, this is a farmer-header clash, this is this, no, it doesn't work. But with the recent attacks on the Plateau, I see it as politically motivated, because these attacks are not provoked by any person. Nobody provoked anyone into going into these attacks. And I believe that no matter the level of provocation that someone would have done to you, there are instant laws where you can go to court, you can report the issue to the security agencies. You don't go about killing people, killing innocent people. And if you see the level of killings, very disheartening. A pregnant woman, her womb will be opened, the baby will be removed and also slaughtered and put on her chest. It's so terrible. It's satanic. I see it as an attempt to grab the lands of the innocent citizens of Plateau and other parts of the country. I see it as politically motivated. I don't want to bring religion into it, because I don't think that these people have any religious beliefs, because both our religions, of course, will not allow you to go and kill somebody. The religions have preached peace, and therefore these people are Satanists. They are people that don't know God in the first place. That's how I look at them. So government should deal with them decisively, and drastic action should be taken so that these people don't live. They don't deserve to live.
Very heart-wrenching imagery, just thinking about how you've described this new wave of attacks. But, obviously looking at the new service chiefs having their work cut out for them, and they'll be judged by their results in tackling insurgency, banditry, header clashes and agitations in the southeast, as well as even crude oil theft. But speaking on results and solutions, let's focus on state policing. Effective state policing has been demonstrated in initiatives like Mwadkwon in the southwestern region of Nigeria. I want to ask you, in what ways do you think that the Acting Inspector General of the Police, Kayode Egbetokun, should be able to effectively use state policing to contribute to the enhancing security at the grassroots level? Do you believe it can complement the efforts of the national security agencies?
Yeah, I believe that absolutely I do. If you look at the Northeast insurgency, it has been reduced to a level by the using of the civilian JTF. They have provided intel to the security agencies. Banditry and insurgency is not a conventional warfare. These people live among us. They are with us every day. They eat with us. And therefore, and that has been one of the serious problems that the security agents have. So provision of intels to them is cardinal. And the civilian JTF, the Mwadkwon, and even the Operation Rainbow on the Plateau is something that the Inspector General of Police should encourage and work hand in hand with. We have also argued that there is need for us to have state police. And some people have said, no, the governors or whoever is in position of authority will use the state police to the advantage of himself in comparison to others, especially when it's time for election. People have seen that those in authority will use the state police in a very negative way. But even now, you see them using it. So I want to strongly believe that state police will help in stemming this. If you are from the federal police, if you are posted to Plateau, for example, you don't know the language of the people, you don't know their culture, you don't know their topography, the attacks may even be discussed in your presence. And because you don't know the language, you don't know the culture of the people, you'll be there seated, a planned attack will go on, and it will go without you doing anything. And so, but if the state police comes into existence, and these sister agencies like the Mwadkwon, the Operation Rainbow, and the civilian JTF, these people understand the language that is spoken within that area. And so if you are planning to go and carry an attack, they understand the environment. All the nooks and crannies of such communities is known. And therefore, these people will work effectively more than the federal police that is being, for example, if somebody is transferred from Lagos to Maiduguri to go as a police, what will you go there and do? You will not perform. That is just the reality. You will not perform because you don't know the language. In the event that you are asked, okay, go to such a community, something is happening in a particular community, go there. You don't even know the road to that community. Somebody will have to lead you. And somebody leads you, if the person is complacent, he will just go there and leave you to the insurgents, may even also kill you. So I want to strongly believe that government, the Inspector General of Police should allow these people for the moment to help, because the police cannot do this by themselves. The police do not have the intels. But there's one thing that is critical in Plateau. I want to say this to Nigerians. Every attack that happens in Plateau have been reported 2-3 days before the attack. The information will be sent to the police, they will be sent to the DSS, it will be sent to whoever, the Operation Safe Haven leadership. We will send it to them that there is a planned attack on so-so community on so-so day. And nothing will be done until the attack is carried. So, like I've said up initial, there is no political will. Or it's like, I want to believe with T.Y. Danjuma, who said that there is a collusion in some cases between the security agencies and the bandits. Somebody is feeding fat from these killings. And until Nigerians were able to carry a thorough research and identify the root problem itself, the root cause of the killings, we will just be playing lip service to the whole thing.
All right, distinguished senator. You said that the 346 allegedly killed, the figure by the foundation that I referenced, that is even an under-declaration. So it simply means that we might be dealing with close to or more than 200 people monthly in the last 3 months being killed, which is a major, major disaster.
Yeah.
Thank you. But my question to you is,
are
there relief packages from either the state government or the federal government for those that are being displaced, for families that are losing their breadwinners and their people? You know, what sort of intervention, humanitarian packages are there for those that are affected? And secondly, Plateau is known as the home of peace and tourism. When will peace return? Will it ever return? And will tourism ever thrive again in Jos and other parts of Plateau State?
First, when will peace return? I want to strongly believe that peace will certainly return. Like I did say, we're happy with President Tinubu. As the commander-in-chief, he's aware of what is happening, and he has made a statement. And that statement has been followed by the military or the security agencies. Like I did told you, 5 of these bandits were neutralized in Mangu last week. If it goes on like this, certainly peace will return. Certainly, the Plateau people are not at war with themselves. We have close to about 55 different ethnic groups in Plateau. None of this group is fighting the other. People come from outside to kill us. And if these people are identified, certainly the killing will stop. Certainly peace will return to Plateau. And I'm happy, like I just said. I'm excited, honestly, because for the commander-in-chief to say this cycle of violence must come to an end. And I know him as somebody that will stand by his words. And if he does so, honestly, the killings in Plateau will come to an end and we shall have peace. As for what measures have been taken as relief, let me just let you know that the IDPs are overwhelming. In Mangu alone, we have more than 25,000 IDPs. It's very, very difficult. And you see, for you to go and begin to take care of 25,000 persons is not a small thing. Of course, we have received, the government of Plateau State have received some relief materials from NEMA, but it's not enough. It's not enough because these people, they are put, you know, most of these communities in Plateau are agrarian societies, and they store their grains, they farm for subsistence living, and mostly they have their grains stored in their barns. The barns were burnt down, and if you take relief materials for food, for example, to them, for how long will you feed 25,000 people? Barkiladi have well over 18,000. In Riom, we have more than 12,000 IDPs. And taking care of these people, taking care of their feeding, taking care of their Medicare, taking care of their children. The children must also go to school. They must have access to Medicare, and so on and so forth. A lot of social problems are being introduced in these camps. So it's going to be a very big and a holistic approach to make sure that you take care. And then trauma. A lot of them are traumatized. A lot of them have not had the sound of a gun before. They have not seen their dear ones being macheted and butchered and killed in their presence. So there are a lot of problems. It's not only relief materials that we should be talking about now. We should be talking about how do you take care, how do you take them back. And some are not even used to staying outside their immediate community. They are willing and praying and wishing that they go back to their homelands. So the relief materials that have come from NEMA is nothing to write home about. The Plateau State government have done its best. Individuals, groups, and societies have also done their best. I was on radio yesterday, and we discussed the issue. I was happy to hear that members of the Plateau State House of Assembly have also visited Mangu and donated some materials. There are individuals like us. We have also done our best to see that something is sent, but it is not enough. Absolutely, it's not enough. I think there is need for the federal government, not even NEMA, government to do something to help these people because they are not living in good conditions.
You know, the issue of insecurity has persisted in Nigeria for years and years. Of course, with attacks like the ones in Plateau State even being a recurring occurrence. Just this week, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, described the provision of stomach infrastructure as the surest way to tackle insecurity in Nigeria. So I want to put this to you now. In addition to law enforcement efforts, should the current administration also focus on other societal interventions that many believe are necessary to tackle from another angle the root causes of insecurity, you know, such as social inequalities, economic challenges, and even lack of opportunities? Do you believe that these interventions would contribute to long-term peace and stability? And how would you use your role as the minority Senate leader to ensure that these these societal norms are provided for the basic Nigerian citizen?
Yeah, I quite agree with that. The whole thing should be holistic. It's not only using security. Quite a number of factors are there. Of social inequality is there. A lot of these people that are going through these killings, some of them don't have any formal education. The perpetrators, that is the architects, are abusing their innocence, and some of them have been indoctrinated. I think there's need to also de-radicalize a lot of these people that are going out to kill. I think also there is need for the government to educate Nigerian citizens. If somebody will give birth to about 20 children, and you don't have the means to train them. After giving birth, you allow them to go out and begin to beg for alms, and such kind of children can be manipulated. Someone can take them somewhere just to give them ordinary food, access to food. They will go and kill. 5 naira, 10 naira, 15 naira, they will go and kill. And at times they are indoctrinated that this, what you are doing is accepted by God, is accepted by the leaders of the religious faith, and go out and do this. So I think there is need for that aspect of the stomach infrastructure. But for how long do you give it? How long? How long do you provide the stomach infrastructure? I think there's need for people to be given skills.
All right.
There's need for government to make concerted efforts where people can acquire some skills that they can use it by themselves to fend for themselves, rather than just be giving them palliatives every day. They eat and drink, and it finishes, and that they go back to square one. Give them skills. Let them use the skills to fend for themselves. I think that will help to solve the problem.
All right, distinguished Senator, I mean, thanks for a very engaging interview so far. But before we let you go, just a quick one. I would like your reaction to the two important developments affecting the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, just recently. I'm sure you are aware of former President Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, saying that the National Assembly has no right to be determining its own salaries and emoluments, that it's strictly the job of RAMFAC. And also, the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, requested, and it has been approved, 500 billion naira from the supplementary budget to go specifically for palliatives because of the removal of the fuel subsidy. But then the National Assembly, what we have now is not just the 500 billion going to the poor masses, but we have other distribution going to the agri sector, going to the NJC, and of course 70 billion coming to the National Assembly, which I believe you'll be partaking, in because you are a first-time senator. What is this 70 billion meant for? How will it be spent? And will you get as part of it?
Well, as for the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, I respect him, a very good leader, somebody that had focus, vision, and he did well. If you come by this time to make that statement, he was president of Nigeria, and what the National Assembly was doing then during his tenure is exactly what is happening now. If he had the capacity, if he knows this, he would have stopped it during his reign as president of Nigeria. So I think I don't want to go there too far in that respect. For the 50 billion that was approved for loan for the president, of course,
500 billion
subsidy removal has brought on 500 billion has brought untold hardship on the citizens of this country, and there's need to bring something at least to cushion the effect as we go, as we progress. And that money is going to be used for that. And it is not, I don't see, it is not a new thing that such thing is done to cushion the effect of a government policy. But what was given, the 500 billion, is taken from the 2022 budget. It's not a new budget that is being brought. Some items that were in the 2022 budget were just shifted, taken away to add to this so that these monies can go to the citizens of Nigeria to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. As for the 70 billion coming to the National Assembly, whether we partake in it, that money is not for us to have access to. If you come to the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Reps, you will see that the condition of the environment is not habitable at all. There are no seats. Like me, a minority leader, I came into the office without a single chair, single seat in the office. So we need furniture in the office. We need computers. We also need vehicles to help us, in the performance of our duties. And so I want to strongly believe that that money is going to be used to provide services to the senators and the House of Representatives and even the staffs of the National Assembly. Is not going to be monies that is going to be shared to anybody to use as an individual.
All right, distinguished Senator Simon Mwadkwon, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the morning show today. Thank you.